Hi, welcome to Letters from New Zealand. I am John Jarvis. This one is to China. When the New Zealand Prime Minister, Chris Hipkins, visited China last month, Premier Xi Jinping said that New Zealand and China were old friends. I suspect that he meant very old friends, because Chinese have very long memories. They need to play for their long game. One very old friend was Rewi Alley. He was a New Zealand-born political activist, born in Springfield, Canterbury. As a member of the Chinese Communist Party, he spent 60 years in China, establishing industrial corporations and training schools, mainly technical. He was a prolific writer and translated many Chinese poems. He met his first Chinese workers in France during World War I, where he earned the military medal and was badly wounded. After the war, he tried farming. In 1927, he moved to Shanghai and witnessed the poverty within the Chinese community and the racism in the Western enclaves. His politics lurched from right-wing, pro-empire to social reform. Alley toured rural China during a famine, helping with the relief effort and adopting a 14-year-old boy he named Alan in 1929. By 1932, he was a secret member of the Chinese Communist Party and became involved in anti-criminal activities on behalf of the party. He adopted a second son, Mike. After the outbreak of war with Japan in 1937, Alan set up Chinese industrial cooperatives and schools. He helped China build the constructive technique of a guerrilla industry. In 1945, he became headmaster of the Shandong School. Following the communist victory over the Nationals in 1949, Alley was urged to remain in China and work for the Chinese Communist Party. He produced many works praising the party and the government of the People's Republic of China. Although imprisoned during the Cultural Revolution, Alley remained committed to communism and bore no grudges. Interviewed in 1973, Alley was now in his 70s, a bald, pink-faced man with bright blue eyes and an inexhaustible flow of conversation. Rewi had lost the best of two libraries, one to the Japanese and again to the Red Guards, who had thrown out his collections and tore up his pictures in his face. He was living in one large room in the old Italian legation. Unlike most of his friends in the Communist Party who remained in Beijing, Alley travelled around the world, lecturing for the need of nuclear disarmament. He was offered a knighthood, but declined the honour, but he did accept the Companion of the Queen's Service Order in 1985. At the ceremony, New Zealand's Prime Minister turned to Alan and said, New Zealand has a great many suns, but you, sir, are our greatest sun. Alley commented on China as a great case study of humanity, one of the biggest examples of humanity's struggle. If you can't feel for these people, then you can't feel anything for the world. I was involved in factories in Shanghai and remember seeing sacks in the alleys at the back of the buildings. At first I thought they were sacks of rubbish, but they were not. They were sacks of dead children. Children worked to death in a foreign-owned factory for someone's bloody profit. That was when I decided to help China. I had human principles, and I made choices based on these. I have always been, and will always be, a New Zealander. There is a fascist streak in New Zealand. I remember, as a boy, seeing unarmed men coming back from a picket line when mounted police attacked them, swinging their clubs as if they were culling seals. I can remember Red Guards breaking into my house and breaking things. I put one of them over my knee and gave him a damn good hiding. I got armed guards on the gates after that. New Zealand has not always seen me as a good New Zealander. The buggers even refused to renew my passport and treated my sons badly. When Robert Muldoon visited Mayo in the 1970s, he was the last head of state to see him. When he asked Mayo what he could do for him, Mayo answered, "Give Ali his passport back." One consequence of Ali's work was when Russia split with China over ideology. All the communist parties around the world supported Russia, with one exception. The New Zealand Communist Party supported China. Old friends? Very much so. Rewi Alley died in Beijing in 1987.